Hello, good morning. Welcome to a brand new week, a week of so much possibilities, and I hope we are all going to achieve great things this week. What are your goals? What are your plans? Make sure you go through them, you revise them to see how you are progressing. In fact, check yourself how the first 45 days or 40 days of the 2025 year has been for you. All right? Do those assessments and let's see how things will go. All right, this morning I want us to talk about one or two things. There were so many things. The first time I came to the United States, there were so many things that I couldn't get my head around. All right? There were so many issues about my classroom management. There were so many issues about how I deliver my lessons. There were many issues about how I assess my students, how they transition from one period to another. Good morning, Richmond. You are the first one to be here. Good morning. Ni. And there were so many other things. Senior, good morning. There were so many things that I had to deal with as a teacher in the US classroom because my 9 years or 8 years or 10 years experience in Ghana couldn't prepare me enough for the differences in culture. All right. It prepared me academically. It prepared me content-wise. It prepared me to be able to deliver, but it did not prepare me for the global world. All right. I went to the University of Winneba. We learned about education. We learned about child psychology. We learned about special education. So many things. How to teach and all that. Right. But it never prepared me for the US classroom or an European classroom or the North American classroom. Why is that? Because there were so many gaps in how we deliver our things. Number one, contributing factor is the culture. All right, the cultural differences. And number two is accountability. Yes, I said accountability because we are in a culture or we studied in a culture and we practice in a culture that does not put too much on accountability. So as a teacher, I mean, there were things on paper that were supposed to hold me accountable for so many things in the classroom, all right? Or so many things related to my job. But who is enforcing it? No one was enforcing it. So we all got away with it. And it was like that. So teachers all over Africa, all over Ghana, especially in the public school system, deliver their or they do their practices in a certain way. We have our own way of managing our classroom. We have our own way of assessing our students. We have our own way of determining which student will make it in life or which student will not make it in life. Because we can look at the shape of your head and we say, no, because your head is shaped like the head of Medusa, you amount to nothing. You understand? And we could classify students based on their socio-economic backgrounds and all that, even though they were all professionally wrong for us to do so. And so when I started this Facebook page and the YouTube, one of the things we set out to do is to talk about the professionalism in the profession of teaching. In fact, there may not be anyone watching, there may not be anyone checking us or holding us to accountability or to be accountable, but we believe that we as teachers should be able to hold our conscience to accountability. You should be able to practice as professional as possible. in your delivery of lessons, in your delivery, or in everything you do as a teacher, you should be as professional as possible. So sometimes we give contributions, or we make contributions to issues based on what we have experienced or what I have experienced in other places. And I know a lot of people may see it as, oh, you people, if you travel small now, you think you know too much. You people, if you travel small now, you think everybody is daft. No. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with holding ourselves much more above everybody. No, I don't hold out myself like I know everything. No, I don't. But I try my best to share what I have practiced, what I've tasted of in this part of the world. And I can tell you for a fact that it has changed my perspective to the job. Even if I have to return to Ghana today to start teaching again, I will practice differently. I will teach differently. Anything I do will be different. And that is all we bring to the table. Is that okay? I don't hold up myself as the messiah of all teaching. No. I bring my contribution per my experience. And I always quote that scripture in the Bible. That says what we have tasted of is what we are preaching to you, so that you also may come and have fellowship with us. It's as simple as that. If you go into the books, you realize that the laws are there, the rules are there. Very, very nice rules, beautiful laws regarding or guarding the teaching profession. But who is enforcing it? No one is enforcing it. So this weekend, I had a little conversation on Facebook on professional, that's Informed Teachers Forum, right? Informed Teachers Forum. There was a post about a teacher who was complaining about how much assessments he had given to his students. Okay? The teacher said in a comment section that the supervisors came to his class to assess him, and they complained about how many assignments he has given to the students within 5 weeks. And their complaint was that, why is it that in 5 weeks you have only given 7 assignments? So I read it, I looked at the whole thing, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. 5 weeks and you have given just 7 assignments? So I gave my opinion. Okay, those of you who are on the page, you can go and check. I gave my opinion. I'm like, well, even if you are giving 1 assignment per class interaction, you should have given at least more than that 7 in that 5 weeks. I gave my opinion based on what was written there. Then there was a lot of back and forth. Somebody said, you don't hesitate to draw conclusions. It's a subject matter of computing twice a week. And I said, listen, I gave my opinion based on what you wrote or what the person wrote. The person didn't say the computing is twice a week. If it is twice a week, if you're having that class twice a week, it means even if you are giving 1 exercise per class interaction, times 5 weeks, that is 10. You understand? It means each class time you give 1 assignment. The second time you give 1 assignment, that is 2 a week. 2 times 5 is 10 assignments. So that alone is simple mathematics. You know? Because one of the things I learned here, when I came to the US, one of the things I struggled with was assessment. Somebody will say, why are you struggling with assessment? Well, I struggled in quotes because they have so many forms of assessing their students. You are having access to so many instruments, so many innovative ways to assess these students. You can assess them orally, you can assess them verbally, you can assess them in any way that you want, you deem it fit. And you see, in the American classroom, it is you are the boss. You give the grade. It's like the university system. So if I said this student has passed, it will be hard for anybody to question me to say, why are you saying this student has passed? He has passed because I said so. You understand? Yes, the grades are awarded. That is why a parent can come to you and say, why is my daughter failing your class? Your daughter is failing my class because she has not done my assignments. Or, you know, because they think or they have it in the back of their mind that, look, you can pass that student or you can fail that student. Even though in real sense of it, the student is supposed to submit their assignment and for you to grade. But you see, assessment here is not punitive as we do it in Africa or in Ghana. Most teachers use assessment as punitive measures. They punish you. They say, I'll give you 0 because you don't respect me. It's because you don't do this, I'll give you 0. I'll give you this one. You see, teachers can do that. And nobody will hold them accountable. But here the parents are watching, your admins are watching, everybody is looking at you. Because in the real essence of things, or in the real scheme of things, that child may not even need your class to succeed in life. No, they just need to pass through, graduate, and go and do their things. The basic one they need to succeed in life, they already have it. Some of them, their path is couched for them already. So they may not even need your class. They may not need your simultaneous equation. They may not even need your calculus to succeed in life. So all that you are saying is BS to them. You understand? It's BS to them. But you have to still do what you need to do as a professional teacher. So I struggled a bit because I was asking myself, how much is too much? All right? How much is too much, or how much is under the standard? Do I give 5 exercises a day? Do I give 3 a day? Do I give 1 a day? Do I even have to give 10 questions, 20 questions, 15 questions? I have no idea, because I could use the computer approach. I could give it to them paper and pencil approach. I could give them any form. I could even give them orally. They say, okay, we are doing Kahoot. There is an online platform. We are doing Kahoot. Kahoot, it gives you instant, results. And the students are ranked right there. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever. And I can decide as a teacher and say, listen, after this Kahoot, I am awarding all of you a quiz grade, or this Kahoot is like a test grade. So for whatever you get, I multiply it by this amount or this number, and we get this. You know, that is another way or another form of assessment. I can use class projects. I can use group assignments. And the group assignments I even mentioned, I said, listen, group assignment, first we had a certain understanding of group assignments. But after a few years of practice here, I realized that, look, that group assignment, I can use it. You'll give it to them as a group, but everyone can present their own results in their notebooks or in their exercise books or on paper. In fact, here they don't even use exercise books much. No, they don't. Hardly would they be using even exercise books in your class. The exercise book, they use it for notes. Even the notes, whether they like it or not, they will not take it. You see, sometimes they don't take it, sometimes they do it. So it is not compulsory. Yes, some teachers make it compulsory for a reason, because you want to use the notes taken even as a form of assessment. For the mere fact that you have taken my notes in class, you are listening, you are paying attention, all the examples I have given, you have listened and you have written them down. I can give you 100 in my class. Oh, yes. And it could be a test grade. It could be a quiz grade. You understand? It is the prerogative of the teacher to decide. So some teachers use the note taking also as a form of assessment. So that is also there. So you see, you have innovative ways of assessing your students. Now, time have passed, I have gained a certain experience, and I've noticed something. I realized that, listen, I don't need to do too much, because there were times that I was giving classwork, I was giving exercises, and it was becoming overwhelming for me. How do I grade them? If I don't give it on computer, then it means I have to physically grade them and give them feedback. But on the online platform, it is instant, and I can go there and just give my feedback. Oh, okay, you did this right, you did this right, and it's gone. The system will grade it for them by itself. So over time, I sat down and I looked at the whole thing. And I also had the similar complaint. Oh, Mr. Tin, you are not doing enough classwork. You need to engage them. You need to engage these students. You know, that kind of conversation. I'm like, how do I give them so much assignment? Because these kids, they don't want to do the assignment. They are not willing to do it. So how do I give them more? Then I sat there one day and I said, you know what? To make things easy for me, I must give one exercise every class period. Oh yeah, that was my savior. That was my savior. I must give one class exercise every class period. Right? Because at the point I stopped giving homework. I don't give homework. If you come to my class, I don't give homework. Why? Because I teach high school, and most of the students there, they are working. So after school, right from school, 3 o'clock, he's gone to work. And he will work, or he or she can work till 12 a.m. or 10 p.m. before going home. Some of them are the breadwinners of their home, so they can work the whole night and come home around 3 o'clock. And the following morning, they must wake up and come to class. So that homework that you have given, it wasn't done. He would come and say, Mr. Oh, I couldn't do it, man. I had to go to work. I came back from work late. And I said, well, there is nothing you can do. You cannot beat him. You cannot shout on him. Nothing. So I said, okay, homework, Yamutu. We're not going to do homework again in my class. We will do every assignment in the classroom. And trust me, the students were like, oh, that is nice, Mr. O. And even that, look, some students will still not do it. But it was working better. I'm able to get at least 90% of them to do it. So the 10%, then I can work with them over time to get it done. But for 90% of the time, I will get every student engaged, and I make sure that they submit it. Then it came to the number of questions, because, you know, back home in Ghana, we will give students 10 questions. We expect them to solve all of them. Yeah, we are expecting them to solve every question, 10 questions, 15 questions, 8 questions. 5 of those questions are very difficult. They are above their standard. But yet, we will give it to them, expecting them to deliver. If they don't bring it, we will pull cane and we'll be lashing them. Hey, why didn't you bring my homework? Hey, sit down. We'll do all those things, right? Then I noticed that no, it is not the number of questions that will show that you have taught. So most of my students, when they do the thing 1, 2, 3, apart from very few ones, exceptional ones, on the average, after the first 5 questions or first 4 questions, they are done. Their mind is exhausted. I mean, their concentration is gone. So, do I keep giving them 10 question assignment, 15 question assignment? No. I just stopped. I just blocked everything. I said, you know what? 5 questions maximum, or 4. Yes. And even those with learning disabilities and accommodations, I don't even give them the same thing. I give them 2 questions. Yeah, I said, you do these 2 questions. And it's Mr. O, are you for real? I said, yeah. And they can do it. Because some of them, if you give them more than 3, more than 4, and you know, it progresses in level of difficulty. So you try to give them very easy one. The next one is semi-easy. Then the next one will be intermediate easy. Then we progress. So everybody is catered for. You are trying to make sure that it flows with the normal curve. So you have those who be up there. You have those who will be in between. So majority of them should be able to do at least more than 50% of the work. So at least you have your 70% or 68% all being in the middle of the curve. I think those of you who are not mathematics teachers, you'll be confused what I'm talking about. You can Google normal curve, normal curve in statistics. You can Google it and look at what I'm talking about. 68% of the grade should be concentrated in the middle part of that curve. That way, it becomes, normal. So you have those who will be at the peak, because they are the exceptional ones. You have those who will be at the back, those who will be here, but majority of them should be able to do that work. So I sat down and I reassessed myself. I said, listen, there's no point in giving too much assignments to these students. So 4 questions. Yes. So it became a standard in my class for almost 4 years. 4 question assessment, 4 question assessment. Because whatever I have delivered, whatever lesson I've delivered, if I cannot assess my students with 4 questions, then me myself, I have a problem. And those 4 questions should be able to cover almost every area and cater for every ability group in my class. And when I began that, oh my people, it was so sweet. The days that I want to make sure that I want to engage, there are days I don't teach. There are days you don't deliver any lesson, right? You just give them the assessment. Say, listen, we've done this for 3 days. Let us go and see how we understand this. You give them a worksheet. You can give them 10 question worksheet. The whole idea is not for them to finish all the 10 questions. The idea is for them to be engaged. So that their brains are always engaged every point in time. So that if you have any admin walking to your classroom at any time, you are covered. Because here the admins, if I say admin, administrators can walk to your class anytime. Your principal, and you can have assistant principal like 4. Right? In a particular school, all those 4 assistant principals can walk to your class at any time. Then you have your math coach, or you have your subject coach. Then you have instructional coaches. So you have about 7-8 layers of people walking to your class. In fact, if you are in a district that is also not doing so well, you have people from the district coming to your class. Yes, when I was in North Carolina, for people from the district come to my class, especially those of you teaching Math 1 or Algebra, right? Algebra 2 and Math 3. Every state has what they test on. They believe that every student might have a basic understanding of math. Every student might have a little intermediate understanding of math. That's it. Only few of them will do the advanced math, like calculus, math for college readiness and all that. But majority of them should have the algebra, they should have the geometry, they should have some basic things. So those ones are state mandated and they must test on it. So if you are in a school that is not even doing so well, you have district coordinators coming to your class every now and then. They'll just be walking in and out. Sometimes the whole week, district coordinators are coming and checking what you are doing, how you are delivering it, how they want it delivered. You understand? So these things evolved and changed the way I assess my students. Because I should be able to give you 2 questions to assess what I've taught. And those of us who went to, who had education background, we were taught in the university about the types of assessment, right? We have so many types of assessment. We have the formative, we have the summative, you have the non-reference, you have the criterion referenced assessment. Look, we learned this. So we learned so many things. We have all these kinds of assessments. But there are 3 basic ones that are used in the classroom. When it comes to the classroom, teaching and learning in the classroom, there are 3 basic ones that have been adopted that I believe every teacher must learn. And what are those? They are assessment for learning, assessment of learning, and assessment as learning. I'll post it after I'm done with the video. You can go and research on it. Assessment for learning, assessment as learning, and assessment of learning. So one is for, one is of, one is as. Okay? The assessment of learning, basically, let me give you one. Assessment of learning has to do with all the portfolios, the standardized tests you give them, like WIEC test and all those ones that you give them, and the exams they do, the portfolios, the classwork, all those things are the assessment of learning, Okay? And if you want to talk about assessment for learning has to do with, let me see. the progressive nature of it, like what do the students know? What do they still need to know? That kind of thing, you know? What did they take away from my lesson? What did these students take away from today? So you can ask them, you can do a quick question, one question or two questions. Hey, give me 2 things that you learned today. If they cannot produce it, then you know that you have to revise your teaching strategy. Okay, or in 3 words or in 5 words, tell me what is differentiation. Or in 6 words, explain to me what you understand by simultaneous equation. You know, those things, the moment they can give you those 6 words, 5 words to explain, it means they understand or they have a good understanding of what has gone on in that class that day. But if majority of the students cannot do that, it means you need to revise your teaching strategy. So that one is the assessment for learning. It is very progressive in nature. Then assessment as learning has to do with involving the students in the learning process. You are teaching them critical thinking in order for them to be able to achieve certain goals. You know, they should be able to set goals for themselves and say, hey, by the end of this week, I should be able to cover maybe these topics. Okay, so those are it. Guys, you can go and read into details what these things are. Assessment of learning, for learning, as learning. And you have to adopt something in your classroom. So the professors or the supervisors who come from the district or wherever, when they come, you have work. Look, you can give your student even 2-question assignment. All right, guys, let's go. These 2 questions, let's go. Let's see how everybody can do it. They do it, and they say, exchange the books, and let's grade or let's assess each other. So they will grade it. The students will do the grading for you. Yes, we do it everywhere. We used to do it in Ghana. We used to do it here too. They exchange their notebooks or their papers. Then maybe lane 1 will give their work to lane 5. Lane 5 will give their work to lane 3. Lane 3 will give their work to lane 4. So that everybody has different paper to grade. And you will give them the rubrics. Okay, when I talk about rubrics, you talk about the marking scheme. You give it to them, and they will use that as a yardstick to grade their own colleagues. And after that, oh, Mr. O, he got it wrong. He didn't do this. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. And you said if the person didn't do this, you should give them 0.5. So it becomes fun. Listen, at the end of the day, it goes into the grade book. It becomes part of your assessment. The following day, you can innovate another way. Okay, guys, as we are doing this, quick, in the middle of the lesson, you can stop and say, okay, let's take your notebooks. Let's do this question. Tell me one thing that so far I have said. Let them write it as a statement. You go around, you check. You have graded it. You have a clipboard. Their names are on it. You have given them, okay, this is 10. So over 10. So this is 5. This is 6. This is 8. This is... Mr. Oh, are you going to put it in a grade book? Or so, yeah, I'm going to put it in a grade book. It's part of your assessment. These students are more than happy that they are doing simple things in order to pass your class. And it becomes fun. It becomes fun. Tag, good morning. You need to check for misunderstanding as you teach. It is very, very crucial. And you ask yourself, what do I want my students to learn from this lesson? Did I succeed? That is the way to check. Tag, if you want to check whether the thing you teach, you go or you don't go. No. Those are the little things. Exit tickets. Hey, Ghana, we don't do exit ticket much. But here, it is mandatory. But hey, sometimes we all forget about it, right? We don't really do it. But you are just using a means to test, to check if what you intended, the goal for the lesson, was achieved. The goal for this lesson is for everybody to understand osmosis or diffusion. So at the end of the class, you give them a very short exit ticket, what we call, as they are going away from the class. Okay, do this one question. Let me see if they can define what osmosis is Boom, your job is done. You understand? Then you collect them. You go and grade them, look at them. Sometimes you don't even put pen on it. You just look at them. Look, there are times in my class I give them worksheets. I only look at it. I only look at the worksheet. The mere fact that you have written your name and you have solved at least 2 questions on the worksheet, I am satisfied. I'm not expecting you to solve all the 15 questions. No. But I'm rather expecting you to solve at least 2 questions, write your name on the paper, and deliver it to me. Okay? And tell me, oh, Mr. O, I'll do the rest later. Look, there are students who will complete an assignment and later come back for the paper and say, Mr. O, can I have that paper back? I want to finish it. Yes, it's progressive. They come, they do it, they submit it all right. So, in essence, I am not grading the full subject. I'm not grading your answers. Sometimes I'm just grading the fact that you can start, or you can do this, you can define this one, you can at least compute between 1 and 2. That's it. So for supervisors not to complain about how many assignments you have given, let us innovate. Let us try our best to devise ways and means that we can be very, innovative in our classroom, in our assessment practices. In that way, you will not have any problem. Even diagnostic assessment, you can use it. Yeah? You can use diagnostic assessment as a form of assessment. Diagnostic assessment is only checking what they know. That is, we call it, how they call it, RPK, right? Relevant previous knowledge. That is diagnostic assessment. You can even grade that as part of an assessment process. Yes, it is assessment. So assessment doesn't have to be cumbersome. It doesn't have to be tedious. We shouldn't make assessment a big deal for us. And we keep saying every day, we keep encouraging other teachers that, listen, those of you who will give assignment 10 questions, 5 questions, you give aces. English teachers are giving aces, and they said, write 500 words. Those 500 words, you cannot grade it, my brother. It is going to be tedious for you to grade. It is going to be tedious for you to grade. So let them do simple things. The longer ones, you only look for structure, you look for basic things, then you grade them, then you are gone. But I know teachers who will give, hey, go and write 1,000 words, go and write this one, and they will put a book in the staff common room. And the students don't have feedback on what they have written for you. As mathematics teachers, I don't even have the 1,000 words to even ask for. I only ask you to do this assignment. Do it. And look, some of the students can take 4 days to do the same assignment that some have used 1 day to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. Allow them. Some of them have accommodations that you are supposed to give them a longer period of time to complete their assignments. Yes. Okay? So that is my piece for the topic or the conversation around assessment. Assessment has to be innovative. You as a teacher has to devise ways and means, smart ways and means to get assessment done. You don't need to wait at the end of the day and give them a 10-question homework. That will be tedious for you to grade, especially in our part of the world where we are always used to the pen and what? Paper or pencil and paper assessments. That is all we are used to. Sometimes you can give them multiple choice. Let them choose. All right? Give them multiple choice. I mean, innovate. Don't always be giving them, go and solve, go and solve. No. Find X. There is no X to be found. Sometimes solve it and ask them, did this student have the process right? This student 𝘼𝙨𝙨𝙨 used this process in solving this question. We are all going to analyze 𝘼𝙨𝙨𝙨's submission to be sure that he did it right and he is correct. Okay? Alfred, you can do that as a teacher. You can present the wrong way of solving it, present the right way of solving it, and let the class do all the analysis. So it becomes fun. Oh, Mr. O, Alfred used this process, and after this one, he went here. He was wrong. He was supposed to multiply it, and now he divided it. Then it becomes conversational. Then we are all learning. Then there's a talk. Then they're having conversation around the topic. So instead of you just pushing it on them, okay, let's analyze this submission by this person. Drama has presented this as his solution. Let us analyze his solution to this particular question. They are all forms of assessment. So you don't always have to wait and give them 5 questions and Seriam will be crying. Me, I cannot solve all these 5 questions. Mr. Oh, that number 4 and number 5 is very difficult. Whereas if I had given Seriam 2 questions in the classroom, Seriam would have solved it easily and say, I'm done. Then you, the teacher, you can even put your red pen on it. Papa, 5/5. Papa, 2/2. Papa, 3/3. Then you are having your assessment in. So by the day they will come, by the time they will come back, my brother, you have plenty. Me, sometimes I can have look at the point then when I innovated, at the point I had assignments to the point that look, I don't even know what to do with it. So I'll choose and pick. And at the end of the day, I choose their best ones. Because in North Carolina, I was required to have 3 tests. So we have grading periods, right? For every quarter, I'm supposed to have at least 3 tests. I should have done 6 quizzes. Then I should have done at least 10 assignments. And this is how many weeks? It's about 4 or 6 weeks old. I'm supposed to have at least 10 assignments, 10 classroom work, 7 or 6 quizzes, and 3 tests, major tests like end of unit tests. So let's say I'm teaching simultaneous equation. I should have finished teaching that simultaneous equation and give a test. Maybe I'm teaching differentiation or limits. I should have finished teaching that and giving them end of unit test. Okay? That is what we are talking about. At least you have 3 tests, 6 quizzes, 10. So at a point, I will have about 15 assignments, and I have about 4 or 5 tests, and I could have about 8 quizzes or 10 quizzes. Then now I will choose and pick because I want to present their best. So, and I don't want any student to fail my class. I don't want them to struggle. So what do? I will make sure that I will pick their best outputs. So if on this particular quiz, a student did 10 out of 10, and the next quiz, he did 8 out of 10, and the next one, he did 2 out of 10, I would rather choose the 8 and the 10, and I'll leave the 2. You understand? And I'll grade that for the person, and it goes on and on. So it depends on us. Jude, good morning. It depends on us. So if you are having trouble with your CSOs and your circuit supervisors and all those people, please, you as a teacher have to innovate. You as a teacher have to innovate. You have to be very, very innovative in your assessment processes. Go back to your education lessons and let us learn. All right? Douglas, thank you so much for also being with me. Tagwanti says, anytime I listen to you, I become born again. God bless you. God bless you as well, Tag. God bless you as well. Henry, good morning. Hello to you. Letitia, I see you. Gabriel, I see you. I see all of you. I just couldn't mention your name because I wanted to keep the flow of the conversation. All right? So let's continue the conversation in the comment section. How many assessments or how many assignments do you give your students per lesson or per day or per unit? It depends on what you are teaching. It depends on what you are teaching. If you're a math teacher, you should have enough to give. If you are a science teacher, you should have enough to give. If you are an English teacher, you should have enough. Look, you can even tell them, read this 1 paragraph and summarize it for me. Or summarize this 1 paragraph into 5 sentences. You see, you are making the student, you are developing their vocabs. So they will use vocabs to shorten the whole thing and still convey the idea nicely. And still convey the idea nicely. Yes, Henry, You can go to apply mathematics. Yes, go to the Fred Effects page. The full post should be there. Yes. Go to the Fred Effects page. Go to the Fred Effects, because the post was deleted. I don't know. Probably because it was showing the professor's email address and stuff. I think it was blocked or something like that. When I woke up this morning, it was blocked. But you can go to the Fred Effects page and check if it is still there. If it is not there, you can contact him and he will definitely send you the details. All right? Good. Gabrielle Kwafo. All right, guys, I'll leave you here. And I want all of you to go and read on it. Assessment for learning, assessment of learning, and assessment as learning, so that we can all be innovative. I know the big ones are there: formative, summative, whatever, cumulative, norm reference test, criterion reference test, and all those ones are there. But we can innovate beyond that. All right? We can innovate beyond that as teachers. So that is my 2-cent submission. I will see you when I see you in the next one. All right? And let's keep being professional to the best of our abilities. To the best of our abilities. Harry, I've answered you, so you can stop sending the same thing. All right? Have a blessed day. Have a wonderful week. And we'll meet again. There's so many things to talk about. There's so much to talk about. But sometimes the time is not even timing for us to talk about it. But as and when, we will discuss them. Okay? As and when, we will discuss them. Thank you. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.